In this video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Winix 5500-2. Not only are we going to go over the button interface layout on the top, we're going to go over the multi-stage filtration system. Later on in the video, I'm going to let you know if I recommend this product to you. Moving from left to right on the button interface design of the 5500-2, on the left hand side you will see a power button, and that power button will allow you to manually turn on and turn off the air purifier. To the right of that you have auto mode. Auto mode, based on an air particle sensor and how the air purifier senses particulate in the air, the fan RPM speed will ramp up and ramp down in accordance to how dirty the air is. To the right of that, when you hit the mode button again, it'll switch over from that auto mode to night mode. And when in night mode, all the lights on the front interface design shut off, with exception to the icon lights that are right above the mode button. So when you leave the air purifier on auto mode, there's actually a built-in light sensor. So if the lights are turned off in the room and there is darkness, the auto mode will automatically switch from auto to night mode. And when the night mode happens, there's actually a reduced RPM speed, so it actually operates on a very low RPM speed with low noise. Whenever the air purifier is in this sleep mode, the fan RPM speed cannot be manually adjusted. So then when you turn the light back on or light is restored in the room, then it switches back from night mode to auto mode. What's really cool about the auto mode is that not only does the fan RPM speed change based on how dirty the air is, the light on the front will actually be a great indicator on how dirty the air is as well. When it's on blue, the air is relatively clean and it'll be on a lower RPM speed. And then as the air particle sensor senses more particles in the air, it'll switch over and the light will change to orange. And that'll notify you that the air is has a moderate level of air particulate in the air. It'll actually switch over to red if there's a lot of air particles in the air and it needs to clean the air. It'll switch over to red and then it'll ramp up the RPM speed even more. So if you do not like the auto feature and you just want it to run on the manual RPM speed, don't worry, you can set that up to happen. We will go over that later. To the right of that mode button, you actually have the plasma wave button. So the cool thing about this air purifier is that if you do not want plasma wave for whatever reason, then you can actually manually turn off the plasma wave. But there is a caveat. If you turn off this air purifier and you go to turn it back on, the plasma wave automatically switches on with the unit. So that means every time you turn off and turn on the air purifier, you're going to have to manually shut off the plasma wave feature. Now with the manual speed button, you actually have 1 to turbo. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then the turbo setting. When you press the manual speed button to shift through these fan speeds, then you actually shift the mode of the air purifier from auto to the manual speed mode. When you do that, that blue light on the front will not turn off. The plasma wave letters on the top will actually turn off if you shut off the plasma wave, but that blue bar underneath, when in manual mode, cannot be turned off. To the right of the manual fan speed button, you also have a timer button. And the timer button has 3 manual settings. The first one's going to be 1 hour, the second one is going to be 4 hours, and the third one is going to be 8 hours. To the right of the timer mode button, you have the change filter light, and that will illuminate when it's time to change out the filter. To the right of that light, you have the reset switch. That's what you use to reset the device when you put in a fresh new filter. To the right of that, you're going to see a white circle, and I think what that is the light sensor that senses the light in the room so that it can effectively switch back and forth between auto mode and night mode when it's in the auto mode. To the right of that, you have what looks like a little series of holes in the device, and that is the air particle sensor in the unit that actually detects the particulate level in the air. Moving on to the multi-stage filter design. The first line of defense with this air purifier is going to be the pre-filter. And the pre-filter is actually kind of like a screen that filters out large airborne particles so that the layers behind it do not have to deal with those larger particles. The second layer is going to be a carbon pellet layer, and the carbon pellet layer actually serves to filter out volatile organic compounds and odors. What's really cool about the Winix 5500-2 is that this carbon pellet layer is actually pellets as opposed to a carbon dust layer. A lot of other air purifiers, they only use a dust layer. So the pellets are actually a larger surface area for those volatile organic compounds and odors. The last filtration layer is going to be the HEPA certified filter. Yes, this is actually a certified HEPA filter. So moving on to whether if I recommend this product to you, and that is a 100% yes. And the reason I say that is because if you watched any of my other videos, those other videos I rant and rave about the 250 CFM units, because in my opinion, that gives you the most bang for your buck. Because if you go anything smaller in CFM than the 250 CFM unit, like a 100 for example, they don't move that much air, so it's almost like you're wasting money. Adversely, if you were to go higher than a 250 CFM unit, you could also be wasting money because you're spending extra when you only have to move a certain amount of air. And if you have a larger space, it has been proven based on what I could find out by researching online is that multiple 250 CFM units actually work more effective than larger air purifiers, going with a single large air purifier.